Is that Jim?
That's Jim.
Yeah. You can actually pick it as Jim. It looks like Jim, doesn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. Looks like he's got his scout uniform on.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that was Papa's car.
Yeah.
He was a mad driver. Terrible. Wonder we're all still alive.
So we've come back to post, this must be about 1933 here at Winton Street.
Yes. That was probably 34 before we went to England.
Right, okay. And it's a nice picture actually again.
Yeah.
But someone might have come in and taken it, or he might have, I don't know.
Nan might have.
Yeah, Nan might have taken it.
I don't know. That doesn't look like the Cross's house, but I
Yeah, no, I think it does. They had a peak there, and then there was a tree there was a palm tree,
yeah.
a kentia that was planted inside of it. It's facing that. It's facing the Crosses. That's the Crosses behind.
Yeah, that's probably just before we went to England.
Right. There's again
Bill.
probably about this. Well, it might be later.
Yeah, that's
It's the same.
Crosses.
That's the Crosses
Yeah,
place,
that's the
and that
Crosses
was what we
place.
were looking at before.
Yeah.
She looks about
Auntie Doris.
2, do you reckon?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Maybe 3. You're looking very
Serious.
serious.
And John's looking in the sun.
Yeah.
And Auntie Doris
And
is
he's actually
at,
looking a little bit like Stan. Stan looks got the same sort of screwed up look in his face.
Yeah.
And Doris is looking at
Judy.
right. And Doris
Was a Newman,
right.
and she had 3 brothers who were all doctors at Newcastle, I think.
Right. Okay.
The Newmans.
How long did she live?
Oh, I think she and Stan moved to Pomeroy, and I think she probably died there.
In the 50s?
Well, I can't remember.
Would she have lived as long as Norman or not?
Well,
I think I can remember her.
She was older than Norman.
Right.
She was more Stan's age.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember whether I knew
Stan was
her.
probably 12 years older than Norman.
Was he? Okay.
He was the eldest and Dad was the youngest.
Right, okay. Well, he died when he was about 60 odd, so...
He died when you were in your...
Yes, 1956.
I thought he was 70 then.
Alright, he might have been 70. I mean, most of the time I saw Stan, it was with Eileen.
Yeah, well, you
And
see...
I hadn't actually realised that they were brother and sister because I guess I just hadn't really thought about it. You don't.
Stan was left on his own,
Yeah.
and Eileen had nowhere to live, and she said, I'll come and look after you, and I don't know whether it suited Stan, but...
Yeah. He managed it.
Oh, only just, I think.
Yeah. I can remember him. I can remember stories about Eileen. So, yeah. So there's you and John on a swing somewhere during your glasses phase to correct your eyesight.
Yeah.
I think you said you thought it might be down at Coleroy maybe.
Could have been. Looks a bit like it, doesn't it?
What, near the golf links there or?
Well, Auntie Doris and Uncle Stan used to go to a house on the forefront of the basin, just near the golf course.
Mm. It's amazing what you can bring out of those things. Well, probably things that you've never seen before in those pictures.
You see, there's my eye that's shot
Yeah.
round the corner.
Yeah, it is actually slightly turned there, you can tell.
And it still turns a bit.
Yeah. John had curly hair, as did Judy.
John had very curly hair, like Sue's when she was young,
Right.
frizzy.
Well, you can see there how curly it is.
He hated it.
Yeah.
He got the kitchen scissors and went down the drive under the hydrangeas and cut it
Cut
all
it off, yes.
No, the sailor doll and the two.
Other teddies.
Yeah. That's our Airedale,
Right.
and that's at Winton Street.
Winton Street. It looks like that's Nana hovering in the
Hovering,
background.
I think,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Always hovering.
Yeah. That's when I had plaits,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Airedale was hard to tick and died of a tick.
Right. Well, that was one of the ones that you were interested in getting a copy of.
Yeah.
And that's Edith?
Edith.
Edith. Yeah, I could recognise Edith actually. And that's
Yeah.
Judy. It looks like Edith.
No. That's Betty Barnes,
Right.
and that was her little brother John, I
John.
would think.
Alright. Who was Betty Barnes?
Well, Betty Barnes was Harold's daughter.
Alright.
And Harold was the mum's younger brother.
Right, okay. Harold Barnes was, the younger brother.
He married Ethel Lind.
Right.
And Harold was another casualty of the First World War.
Harold Barnes.
Yeah.
What, did he die or?
No, he was a stretcher bearer at Gallipoli, and he came home very severely stressed,
Right,
coping with the wounded.
right.
But I think he...
So that was
got hurt.
Harold Barnes.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
and he...
Because one of Liz's great uncles was killed off Gallipoli.
Well, Harold was a stretcher bearer because he wanted to go to the war and his father wouldn't let him,
Right,
because he was underage.
right.
So he just went and enlisted as a stretcher bearer.
So how old would he have been when he enlisted?
I don't know. Well, when was the war? 1914.
Mm-hmm.
If he was younger than Mother and she was born in 96.
So she would have been 18, so he could have been 15.
16.
16.
15,
Yeah, 15 or 16. Right.
So he went off and he was wounded and he ended up in England, and I think he ended up with Papa's sister, Aunt Madge. He was in a hospital over there.
Right.
And then he came back
Mm-hmm.
to Everest,
Right.
and he'd been through all that. And Papa used to have a strict curfew that he had to be home by 10.
All right.
And Harold resented. He'd lived through.
Was because he's Bapa is that's Isabel's father. That's
Yeah,
his
Freddie.
father. Harold's
Harold's
father. So if we got out of this, and we'll go back to